Welcome to Hope MacGregor live at Turntable. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. You never know. Sometimes you come, I'm from Austin, Texas. I'm Joseph Cabrera, by the way. I'll be your host for tonight. Coming from Texas, sometimes you go to these towns right outside of Austin, and you're not really sure how people are going to receive it. Hope told me, folks here in Jackson, especially these folks, she goes, if anything, you're going to have to turn their volume down. She goes, they are very excitable. So we're super stoked to have you all tonight. We got a few things we're going to go over first, and then we're going to let the band do their thing along with Hope MacGregor. First and foremost, just want to say thank you all so much for being here. This is kind of a rare thing. So not sure what you thought you signed up for, but this is kind of bigger than just a show. Tonight is really more about not only kind of enjoying a moment in history, but also being a part of a live recording. So what does that mean? A couple things. The way the show is going to go tonight is very interesting. We're going to do a kind of a conversation about these songs that didn't make it on the first album in depth. Kind of the why, the how, the process, some of the nuances with it. Two good things come out of that. One, you get a little understanding of what's going on. Makes this show a little longer too, which is nice. And then secondarily, hopefully you get a little more emotionally invested in the music. All right, y'all, that's what I'm talking about. All right, a couple things, and then we're going to get the band up here. Just a couple thank yous we want to go ahead and make sure we share before we kick off. Anthony and the Turntable team, Lucas, the whole group here, where we're at right now. Just want to say thanks. Obviously, this is their main shop being a coffee shop and really bringing good coffee here to Jackson. We all grew up with Folgers, but they're making good coffee a thing. Just letting you know there's nothing wrong with Folgers, but they got some really good stuff here, and this is really great to kind of have this environment. I think it's got to be the wood rafters or something that makes the noise just feel warm in here. The team was rehearsing. Sounds awesome, and you guys are going to be in for a treat tonight. We also want to thank Estanala Barbecue out there in the back. Again, if you haven't got their stuff, being from Texas, we always go brisket, but we never get pork. No pulled pork. So we just demolished that. Want to just say thank you all to having a local team here, and thank you all for setting this up to have some good food and good grub. Who else do we need to thank here? We need to thank Josh, of course, out in the back. Joshua, if you haven't just kind of tinkered around and seen some of his artwork out there in the back in the inner space here, it's really just amazing stuff. And so I just want to give him a round of applause for being here this evening, and please feel free to stop by as we take a look there later on today. Elliott and Jared, I know I already kind of gave a nod to y'all, but thank y'all for being here as well. This is going to make this thing embodied. I'm also supposed to, I think, thank myself. Hope says thank yourself. So she wrote a couple things. Yeah. Thank you, Joseph, for being here. We appreciate your great jawline. And I think you did. Great jawline and bringing some Texas swagger here to Jackson. Thank you. Anyway, no, thank you all for allowing me to be here. I want to thank you. And that's really where I want to end this off and say thank you all for being here today. I can tell just by the way Hope has talked about her family here in Jackson. Being someone who's been a former service member myself, I recognize that it's sometimes hard to find a home as you're kind of running around and trying to find a community that matters. When we were catching up last night over dinner, it was really clear to me that the family she's made here in Jackson is not just another assignment, another group of people is a fleeting thing. She's got some really strong connects. And most importantly, as y'all are here this evening, I have no doubt that Hope will be on the biggest stages in the world at some point in time. I hear that, But I will say that the group here, these are the moments that, like the small, intimate family settings are the things that make an artist get to where they're going to get to, because they remember the people, the stories, and the families that they call friends and friends that they call family that they get to hang out with. And at the end of the day, no matter if they're playing in the Astrodome or at the Ryman or wherever they're at, they still remember you all. And this is the kind of stuff that really launches it into the future. So thank you all for being here. Without you, this wouldn't be anything, so we appreciate your time. So give yourself a round of applause. All right, we ready to play some music? All right, we're going to bring the band on. I'm going to do just a quick intro to each one of them, and then we're going to get things kicked off. So let's get first on stage here, Jake Davis. I think y'all know Jake, the man behind the drums there. We got Adam Johnson on keys. Mr. Joe, come on up, my friend, on bass. Mason Henson on lead guitar. and of course, Hope MacGregor.
Well, shit, y'all. This first one's called Let Me Guess. You boys ready? All right.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Been 2 years, too many tears. Time moves on. I guess you don't. Call me up, buttercup, tell me that you need mine. Let me tell you what is up. I already know why you're. Let me guess, you've gone and made a mess. It's what you do best. Baby, let me guess. Found a new girl. You promised her the world, footing all your bills. Ain't a cheap thrill. You hit my line one more time just because you think I'm mean. Let me say what's on my mind. The best joke I've heard it is. Let me guess, you've gone and made a mess. It's what you do best. Baby, let me guess. Hit my line one more time just because you think I'm mean. Let me say what's on my mind. The best joke I've heard it is. Let me guess, you've gone and made a mess. It's what you do best. Baby, let me guess. Mom, we gotta move your side wine table there. Y'all say hey to John and Kate.
Hey, John and Kate.
We're gonna sit and chat. Yeah. You can talk now. It's fine.
Yeah, give it up one more time for Hope MacGregor and the Macintosh. All right, Hope.
Joseph. Hey, hang on. Can you tell them who you are? Just everyone say hey to Joseph. Hey, Joseph. This is my buddy. He hails from Texas. We met at West Point.
Yes.
So if you didn't listen to the podcast, go back and listen to the podcast. He's an excellent podcast host, which is why he's here emceeing tonight. So this is Joseph, everyone.
Thank you, Hope. Well, it's good to be here, and it's interesting to think about how many times years will take you in and out and still kind of keep bringing you together. And it's one of the cool things that we share about being in the service and serving together there and being able to pick up where we left off. So I want to talk about Let Me Guess for a little bit and then get into the next song that's coming there. Let Me Guess has got levity to it. If you weren't listening to the words, you'd go, it's a happy song. But if you listen to the lyrics, there's something else going on there. Tell us about the inspiration and kind of what you're hoping folks get out of the song.
Well, I'm going to get T-shirts that say, like, famously divorced, because everyone knows. So, hi, I'm divorced. Mason, I'm sorry. He makes fun of me. He's like, you got to make it through the third song before you can tell a crowd of strangers that you're, but y'all already know. Anyway, well, I won't say who, but you know who. You know that person, like, calls you after all these years just because they're bored and they want to make you miserable? Yes. So, you know, I was at work one day, and my boss is here, and I hate to break it to you, sir, but I write a lot of song lyrics on that weird hallway walk to the bathroom. I don't know, like divine inspiration hits a lot in that empty bookcase hallway. And I was walking, I was like, what if I were to pick up this annoying phone call and answer it, what would I say? Man, let me guess. Like, I know what this is. And so that was, you know, wrote kind of the lyrics to that chorus. En route to the restroom at work. And then Mason, I think, these are taxpayer songs. So thanks for buying a ticket, and thanks for paying your taxes, everybody. Yeah, no, and then Mason came over, I think like that night or a couple nights later, and we wrote Let Me Guess. So
Yeah, that's right. And give it up for Mason, too, for being a co-writer on this song. When you're writing a song like that, it's probably easy to think about it being much more of what we call like let's call it like a vengeance melody. Easy to be more dark about it. What allowed you to go, let me make this a little more bright and light?
I think for anyone who's had like a rough relationship and had to make peace with what was hard about it, like at a certain point, it does become a little funny. Like, it's like, oh man, what a joke that was.
Looks like that resonated with a lot of folks out here.
Yeah, so I think that was it, really. It was just like, I've been sad for a long time about it, and I've been at, I guess, all the stages of grief, I guess, in my life. Humor is somewhere in the stages of grief, I guess, and so that was, I think I was just I'm kind of done being sad about it, I guess, and yeah, so that was it. We're done being sad, so it's time to be happy and laugh about it, so.
Yeah, I love it. Well, and it's a good toe tapper, too. It's one of those songs that was like watching the faces of the folks in the audience. And if you had anybody heard any rendition of that before, or Hope singing in the shower and maybe making its way down the neighborhood
Nobody
street?
here has heard me sing in the shower. Oh, except I guess my mom and dad.
I'll tell you, it's just, you can see everybody immediately nodding their heads and tapping their toes. So let's roll into the next one here. We got this, it's kind of the opposite end of the spectrum. I think we've all know the term being a black sheep in somebody's family, household, town. But you also have something accompanying it with a different character as well. Tell us a little bit about the inspiration on this song.
Yes, this next one's called Black Sheep, Dark Horse. And there's something about, I mean, everyone here in this room basically has met me in like this iteration of my life, which is the fun, single, cute, like, I'll say cute. You don't have to co-sign on that. But like happy person, right? But there's an iteration of my life where I was very serious, ma'am, Army officer, like no nonsense, person who like trains to go to war, right? And so I think sometimes it's hard for me to communicate. Like I very much have that side to me. I'm happy to like put her away and only use her when necessary.
Break glass in case of,
But sometimes when I get into these scenarios where there's like tension or frustration, like I am a black sheep in my family, like, and in my hometown, like I grew up and left at 18 and I haven't moved back. And a lot of the people I lived with and grew up with are still there, and it's not a problem. I know there's a lot of people here who, like, if that's for you, that's great. Like, I want to be a lifelong Jacksonian now. But just my hometown wasn't kind of where I saw myself sticking around. And so I'm a black sheep in that way, but it's a little bit more than just being different. There's like an edge to it sometimes. And I get in these scenarios, and now I'm finding it in music where it's like people see the fun, cute, happy girl, and they think like they can pull one over on me. It's a little bit like, no. Like, I'll let you think that you're cool, important, know people, whatever. Like, it takes a lot to impress me, and it doesn't take a lot to piss me off. and I can be done with you like real quick. So there's the black sheep, like weird person who kind of went off to do their own thing, but then there's also the dark horse side that's like, and it's a little dangerous. Yeah.
Yeah, the dark horse part seems to even make the black sheep part even more dark, right? Harder to, if you did want to come back to the hometown, for example, you almost become almost unrelatable at this point. Tell folks a little bit about, I'm sure some folks have some, like maybe some folks, their context is, oh, Hope was in the military. Maybe they know that. Tell them a little bit about, you're obviously an aviator in the military, but even being a helicopter pilot has got its genre of personalities, right? You got everything from Chinook heavy cargo pilots to Kiowa pilots. Talk about what a Kiowa is and just the mentality of somebody who not only flies Kiowas, but leads a bunch of folks who wear Stetsons flying Kiowas as well.
Yeah, my old Stetson's up there. To break that sucker in, you gotta like pour a bunch of liquor in it and then chug it, and it's disgusting. Anyway, so that's seen some things. Gary Parsons, this is unnecessary, who flies Life Flight out here now. He was in my unit, and he took his lip of dip and like put it in my Stetson to break in. So thank you, Gary. It was great. So those are the people who fly Kiowas. Yeah, no, you were. Yeah, those are the people who fly Kiowas, right? Like see, there were 4 main Army airframes when I was in, and it was Chinooks, which was the big kind of school bus looking one that had the 2 rotor systems at the top, and that's cargo, right? So people, you could sling load, equipment with those things, a lot of logistics movement. And then Blackhawk's another kind of utility helicopter, a lot of transporting of people and equipment. And then you have the Apache, which was the gunship. So that had like the 30 millimeter cannons and all the Hellfire missiles and rockets and stuff. And those are just our pure firepower. And then you have this tiny, and everything else has 2 engines. And then you have the Kiowa, and it's this cute little thing, and it's got 1 engine and two little guns on the side, and
It's like a little helicopter they just put a steroid shot into, though.
yeah,
right?
no, it's all the like the Life Flight helicopters you see out here, Bell 206 single engine aircraft. It doesn't look like much, but throw a couple weapons pylons on it and a little sight on the top, and 2 steely-eyed killers in the cockpit, and it can be lethal when necessary, but it's a reconnaissance platform. So like the whole mission of reconnaissance is to go out and create reaction time and maneuver space for a ground force commander. And so that means going out front of where the ground force is to see what else is out there, see where things are moving or not moving, see what routes are available to an objective or not available, and report back. And so a lot of times like you're out front, that's the cavalry mentality, is you're out front ahead of where the main body is moving. And so you end up with people who will put liquor and dip into a hat and drink out of it. You end up with crazy people. I mean, honestly, a little bit like the people who want to be hands-on, dirt on their face from the air, like involved in what's going on. So yeah, you're not high in the sky. It's all necessary, right? Like it's not a judgment, but you're not high in the sky moving people pallets of food or whatever, or 6,000 feet in the air with a laser shooting. Like you're there in the mix. So yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a very intimate platform. I'll tell you, being a ground guy myself, it was our favorite aircraft to know that was circulating around us. And oftentimes when we would be on our way, when we would be on our way to go stomp out an anthill, it was nice to have y'all come up there first and go, can you go mess it up a little bit for us just to make sure we know how many ants are going to come out of that thing before we get there. So that's the dark horse part of it. That's someone required to kind of manage, not only fly a platform like that, but also be someone who manages and leads other folks who do that, kind of as a part of the DNA of this song. Well, we're going to let you all play this song. Anything else you want to talk about this one?
I think you got it.
All
Anything
right.
else y'all want to know? Not you, Dave. I see you thinking about it. I see you
It's about
thinking
to
about you're
pop
going
up.
to say something. Not to anyone but Dave. Questions? Thoughts? Okay.
Which, by the way, we're going to hang out after this. If you got any additional stuff, we'll ask as much
for
stuff
sure.
you want,
Yeah.
Dave. All right, let's go.
Not Dave. Okay. All right. Everyone give it up for Jake Davis on drums. He doesn't love this song, he plays it because he loves us, and we appreciate that.
I never wanted no enemy. I guess I thought we could live and let it be. I never wanted to pick up a fight. Well, back me into this corner, and darling, I tell you I might just hold my fist up, my guard down, just 'cause I don't want to, don't mean I don't know how. I know how. 'Cause I'm a black sheep, and I'm a dark horse, and I've been fighting since the day I was born. I'm a black sheep, I'm a dark horse. Pray oh Hail Mary, she don't know what you're in for with a black sheep. Oh, a dark horse. Change up the place, it change up the time, it change up the plan. Yeah, you know I don't mind. It change up the reason, it change up the rhyme, change up the rules, yeah, and I'll be just fine with my fist up, my guard down, just 'cause I don't want to, don't mean I don't know how. I know how. I'm a black sheep, I'm a dark horse, and I've been fighting since the day I was born. I'm a black sheep, I'm a dark horse. Pray oh Hail Mary, she don't know what you're in for with a black sheep. Oh, a dark horse. Don't forget David and Goliath. With one stone he took a life. I don't take parts in pieces. I don't eat scraps for a reason. I am a black sheep. Oh, a dark horse.
James, can I get a little bit more vocal inflections? Everyone give it up for James and Evan over here on the side.
How you feeling?
A little sweaty.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Too high, too low? Just right.
No, I think that's just right.
Okay. All right, so we got...
I wore overalls to be comfortable instead of a dress, but these things are... All right, here we go. All right, we're good.
Before we go into the next one, talk to me a little bit about this set here. There's 5 really good songs. Why are we doing this? Right? Where did these come up out of nowhere? Didn't make the cut? What happened?
Yeah, so my sweet friend Laura and sweet friend Jake came over, and we were mapping out the album, and I'd written down all of the songs that I thought could make it on a 12-track album. And we were like set, I won't say we, I won't drag y'all into that. I was set on 12 tracks for the album. And these 5 songs, in some form or fashion, were on the list to make it on the album. But it was just like, they're kind of a hodgepodge. Like, they didn't really fit anywhere. And they're songs that, a handful of them, the first 2 that you've heard tonight, we've played out a lot and people love. And Jake was like adamant that Let Me Guess needed to go on the album, and it didn't go on the album, and I've regretted it. And so we are here to put it out into the universe, because Jake said we needed to, and he was right. Yeah, so there's songs that we love and I love that just didn't quite fit, and so we wanted to record to release because we love them, and this was kind of the best way to do it, I think.
When you say they don't fit, is there, when you're going through the process of just putting 8, 10, 12 songs together, are you looking for a theme? Are you looking for a message? Are you looking for a crescendo? What does the fit part sound like?
Yeah, I think we were trying to, I mean, Jake had like mapped out, I think, how many albums did you look at for that to make a map of like the best?
Oh, at least 10.
Yeah, I think he pulled like his favorite 10 albums and kind of mapped out like, okay, the first one's a banger. And then when you flip it over to side B starts with a banger. And like, so there's kind of an ebb and flow to it. So that was kind of the map we used to put everything out. Yeah, and these 5 just, they kind of sort of fit, but maybe there were songs we felt stronger about at the time. So yeah.
I dig it. I know there's a lot that goes into the process. Oftentimes we can just take for granted, you know, I was going to put the CD in. Anybody use CDs anymore? Okay. With the visor up in the visor holder.
We have CDs for sale in the back. They're the EP Truth Teller, and it's hard to listen to now, but yeah.
Well, the CDs that come in there, or whatever you're downloading, you're streaming coming from there. Oftentimes we just take for granted, especially today where it's easy just to take the one release coming out. It's nice to know that there's still also the art of putting these things together, like chapters in a book. All right, so the next one here we got is a song called Quiet House. First time I heard this song, it made me think about a lot of different things. And I think one of the things that I really enjoy about this song is also a really tough thing to talk about. Talk to me about just kind of when you decided to write this song, why was it important for you to tell the story, the perspective of women coming from a different angle?
Yeah, so Quiet House was born out of someone came over to my house, and they were at my house for several hours, and they have children, and young children and teenage children, and they commented in the handful of hours that they were at my house like at least 20 times how quiet my house is. And my house is very quiet. I don't have kids. I have 1 dog. And I know she didn't mean anything by the comment once, twice, 3, 4, right? But at the 10th time she said something, it started to really hurt. And for a lot of reasons it started to hurt, right? And I love my house. Like most of you have been by my house before, and it's a lovely little home, and it serves Lucy and I quite well. But man, I wish it wasn't so quiet. And I've learned to enjoy the solitude and learned to be grateful for the peace. But I think, and to the extent it serves as a place of refuge for the tired mom who needs to come have a glass of wine and just like chill for a second. Like I'm grateful that my house can be a place people feel welcome. But yeah, it's sometimes it's hard to have the quiet house. And then what a gift it is to have friends who bring over their kids and let it be full of laughter and joy and happiness. And so, yeah.
Yeah, I know when we had talked about this song, you had mentioned there's usually a lot of either songs or talks or just things about the great mothers out there who really are able to raise these littles and bring them into the world, into these hopefully productive, fun, loving, enjoyable, driven type folks. But oftentimes you do forget about the lady who maybe wants that but can't have, for whatever it might be. Life didn't deal them those cards, health stuff, whatever it might be. As you're singing this song, what is the hope that you give them as you're thinking about maybe some of the things you've learned about moving and continuing to push through that process?
Yeah, I don't know that I have any wisdom to offer or takeaways. I think maybe it's just more of a like, I get it too, I see it too. Yeah, I think for all the other childless mothers, it's a statement of like, I freaking get it, man. Like, I get it. I think maybe then the hope on the other side of that coin, though, is to say to all the tired moms and the weary dads, I can't imagine how hard it is to be in the season of basketball and soccer and gymnastics. Like, listen, it's busy and it's hard, and COVID has changed so much for parents, and I don't know anything about that life. All I know is like it's got to be hard, right? Like there's got to be days that you want to throw your hands up and throw in the towel. But man, in those moments, I just hope that this song serves as a little bit of a reminder of how many people would want to be in your shoes right now, and to just, gosh, like I don't want to say be grateful for what you have, like, but just very tenderly, like, oh man, just be so grateful for what you have.
Do you have, what is your favorite part when you do have the littles coming over? Either niece or friends? What are the things that just light you up?
A couple of things. The first thing is just like how fun kids are, and how like I, as an adult and a very serious adult, sometimes like I forget like how fun it is to just like I don't have fun, like, and how silly and goofy it is. To have a dance party to Taylor Swift, or play bowling down my long hallway with a set of plastic bowling pins. Like just how goofy and fun it is, and how joyful it can be to have them around. Like how much light they bring into my life, and but then there's the other side of it is I've forgotten so much about my childhood until I hang out with kids, and I remember now being that age, right? Like I had a friend a few months ago who, through a series of things that happened, needed someone to take her 12-year-old for a few days. And I was all too happy to have her come stay at my house. And I got to do the back to school shopping, which was so fun. And I had this recovered memory because I, for the first time in my life, have gotten to like wake a kid up and feed them breakfast. And so I have this like beautiful moment of remembering like my mom waking me up. And she would always wake us up singing and happy. And mornings were always so beautiful. And she made cheese toast, like white bread with a slice of American cheese under the broiler, so the bottom is soggy, but like the cheese is bubbly. I don't know if y'all have this delicacy in your lives, but Kate yeah. And I
white
just,
bread, right?
Yeah, 100% white bread, Wonder, whatever it was. And so it was really lovely to just kind of get to have a moment too of like, as I'm fixing this sweet little 12-year-old girl who's palling around with me for a few days, breakfast, to go like, dang, like how grateful I am to have had that kind of a childhood, and to get to share that little precious moment with another kid. Because if this is the only chance I get to have to fix a kid breakfast, like what a special one, like, and so I think that it's two-sided. I get to have fun in a way that you don't get to have fun with adults, no offense, y'all. But then also getting to kind of remember those beautiful parts of my life growing up, so.
You can learn a lot from them, right? Just watching these little humans running around. Is there any inspiration that you get from watching them about their boldness and just about the fact that you mentioned about the fun they're having, but there's also a little bit of this, they don't really care what the world thinks?
Not yet. It's a little weird watching them start to care and trying to figure out how to navigate, like, some of my very sweet girlfriends brought their daughters over and we did a Christmas tea party, and one of them had the smart idea to like print out like letters to Santas, and so like all the girls like wrote down what they wanted, so I could mail them to Santa, and and the number of them at like, I don't know, like 10 years old who are writing that they want like skincare, and it's like,
Why?
Yeah, I'm like, so they don't care, and then it's like weird trying to figure out like, how do you tell a 10-year-old like, girl, you ain't got bags under your eyes, like what are we wearing? But yeah, so I think it's cool to watch them go from not caring to then trying to navigate all of this weird stuff that happens as you get older. So yeah.
Yeah, no, I find that as we get older, you're more just trying to go back to that 5-year-old self of yourself. Seemed like that individual knew exactly what they wanted, and it's almost after that you kind of had so many things packing on top of it. Before we kick into the song here on the Quiet House part of it, it's got and folks will hear it in a second, the melody is one that, again, you do a great job kind of matching the melancholy mixed with the levity. Is that a big part of just your style? Where's that come from?
I don't know.
My mind.
I don't know. Wow, for someone who's trying to talk and entertain for a living, I'm coming up blank. I have no idea. No clue. It happens.
Well, that's good. That's the gift that you have.
Yeah.
So without further ado, Quiet House.
I'm gonna tune really quick. Everyone talk amongst yourselves. All right. Y'all ready? Woo! 3, 2, 1.
Bet it's hard right now for you to come over to my house, so tired and worn out. But no, this ain't the first time you've stood there pouring a glass of wine and you comment. The house is so quiet. Well, maybe God didn't intend for me to know the sound of pattering feet are running around the house, running. So take it from me that you've got all that you need. Take it from me. The woman with a quiet house. I bet you've got no clue. I bet you don't even mean to say those words. They cut right through. And you bet I can sleep through the night. That's 'cause there's nobody screaming
Evan, I need to unplug. We had a whole song and dance about how I wanted 3 DI boxes. And he was like, you don't need 3 DI boxes. I was like, yeah, but then I gotta plug and unplug. And he's like, you don't need 3 DI boxes. I was like, fine. Evan, I need to unplug.
Y'all give it up for Evan and James out here making the sound come through. Well.
Hey. Hi. Hey.
Hey. We're back.
Everyone all right?
You got done singing that song. Actually made me think of something I had not thought about before until you did it.
Okay.
It's got to also, it's kind of a, maybe for folks in the house here that have their youngs actually no longer in the house anymore. It's probably got a similar feeling too.
Maybe, yeah.
It's probably too
I don't know,
quiet
Mom.
around.
How does that feel? Are you sad to have a quiet house? No, she's not at all sad. If anyone else is sad that you have a quiet house, that's okay.
Yeah, that's okay.
We're in it together.
All right, so this one's got a lot of, I know we didn't want to get, the idea here wasn't to get super sticky,
Yeah.
but we're going to get maybe to the edge there on this next song. I want to start a little bit more with just kind of big picture first. Your background in the military, my background in the service, a lot of folks who've served have a hard time kind of maybe bringing their experiences to life.
Yeah.
Why is that? Why do we have such a hard time either putting it in a song or talking about it? There's probably tons of stories if you had grandparents or whoever went to Vietnam, the Korean War, whatever it might be, never told me a story about their time over there. Why is it so hard for us to talk about those things?
Because it's weird.
Why is it weird?
Well, I don't know. Like, okay, it's not that it's weird. I think there's a level of humility that the service will breed into you, right? Like, because everyone kind of wears their rank and their medals on their chest, so you don't have to talk about it. Like, you can see, like, you meet someone and you can see what they did or who they are just kind of by the insignia that they wear. But then there's also, like, the cool guys are the most humble. You know, the ones who have actually done stuff are the ones who, like, won't tell you all the stuff they did. Like one of my guys, and y'all remember Private Jessica Lynch getting I guess kidnapped in Iraq, and there was this big rescue mission. Like, I flew with Brody, like, I don't know, 500 hours in Afghanistan before I knew that he was on the rescue team who went and got Jessica. Like, so there's just like a level of humility that I think gets bred into you of, like, do your job, shut up, don't talk about it, and go home kind of thing. And so I think then when you get out, it's hard to kind of peel off that tough exterior that kind of gets hammered home for a while.
It serves a purpose when you're in. Mm-hmm. Do you think it does a disservice when we're kind of out and about, coming back to the bigger tribe, so to speak, that we don't share those things?
I think people are sometimes scared to ask about it, who maybe haven't been in, who are curious and have been told, like, well, don't talk to him about, like, or are nervous, like, there's PTSD, or, like, you don't want to talk about it, or whatever. Like, there's kind of a barrier of people asking questions, and then we're just bad at talking about it casually. And so, so I think it's a probably two-sided problem. Like, if someone wants to know, they don't know how to ask, and someone who wants to talk about it doesn't know how to say, I'm happy to answer your questions. You know, like, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of hard, especially if in the last 20 years of war, it's kind of hard to even, I don't even know how to answer a question maybe that you might ask me, because it's kind of buried way deep in a jar somewhere in the back of my brain or my spirit or wherever it might be. When you wrote this next song here, when you thought about how this not only related to the generation that just came back from Iraq and Afghanistan, but also there's kind of a nod to a generation before. Mm-hmm. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yes, this next song is called Made It Through, and I wrote it like 2 days after the fall of Afghanistan, and I was like in the towards the tail end of law school, and I'm, you know, a decade older than most of the people I'm in law school with, and so they don't really remember 9/11, and so for them the experience of exiting Afghanistan is totally different than the experience that I'm having of us exiting Afghanistan. And no judgment, right? Like, the world that they grew up in was the global war on terror. And they don't remember the context in which we got there, and then obviously didn't have the same like heartfelt investment I had having been there. And so I wrote it like right after the fall of Afghanistan, in large part because of those pictures of Kabul and Saigon. Like, they're the same. And just thinking about all the Vietnam veterans that I know who don't talk about the pain of having lost. And just going like, God, it's this, and wanting to like pull that thread of like, this is not the first time this has happened, and this is not the second time this has happened. This is now, I mean, depending on how you view Iraq, like this is the third time. And depending on how you view Korea, this is the fourth time. Like it just, the through line of this war waging goes back a long time. And I think that that's part of what I wanted to pull to the forefront is this isn't just Afghanistan. We've done this before. Sorry, Michael's a fellow veteran, so he's got thoughts and feelings too, yeah.
No, it's great. When you think about how kind of the disconnect too of the spirit, the mentality, the thoughts of someone who wears uniform, someone who's in the warrior class, so to speak, and how that goes either with or against maybe what folks think about war. What do you think the disconnecting cost is? Like, there's obviously an obvious cost to go and do something. Mm-hmm. How about the cost, just a personal cost? What are the things you think folks may not be aware of?
I'll try to narrow it down to kind of one point, and it's the idea that like you trained so hard and you get sold this idea, and you, I mean, from the time I was 18, I think I got out at 30 some odd years old, right? Like, I trained to go and fight. And then when you and then you come home and you hang up that uniform, you're kind of hit with the reality of like, that machine is going to keep turning whether I'm in that uniform or not. And those policy decisions are going to get made whether this captain is there or not. And so I think there's when you're in the brotherhood and you're wearing the uniform, like, it's deeply embedded in you. And as you start to kind of come back and those layers get shed and you start asking yourself the questions about what did I do while I was there? Why did we do it that way? And then you like completely take the uniform off. Like, there's a big vacuum of understanding and identity, I think, that comes with that. That's hard to start to piece back together.
Yeah, no, I think when we were talking about this actually the last night, maybe even a little bit just in depth about like how when you meet a lot of folks kind of doing the job, when we meet, when we talk, I don't know if folks know this or not, but are they just normal people who just happen to be given a certain kind of training and a certain kind of job to go do. Mm-hmm. But these are still the folks we know at our church. These are still the same folks that you grew up with, that reminds you of your brother, or just kind of reminds you of your weird friend from third grade, whatever it might be. These are just normal folks that we all know.
Yeah.
And for some reason, we kind of just, and I see it all the time, there's a bit of just a screen of like, oh yeah, those soldiers are going there and doing that. Mm-hmm. How do you think about maybe helping the public and the warriors kind of connect the fact that these are normal humans with families going over there, and the cost is also not just we're going to war, spending some money, burning some gas, shooting some bullets.
Yeah.
But it goes beyond that.
Yeah, I think the thing that's hard to remember is that like there's a cost whether you're going and like just dropping one bomb and leaving, and there's maybe not equivalent cost, but there is also a cost to like physical invasion. Like, there's a cost to both. You can go watch all the YouTube videos of like the soldiers coming home and the kids being happy and the dog. When I need to cry, I call it emotional lubricant. I watch YouTube videos of dogs seeing their service members come home. Do y'all ever feel like you need to cry and you just like can't quite like break the seal? And so I watch dogs realizing they're service members that
They're
come home
squealing.
and they just really get like, it gets a good cry out when I need one. So strong recommendation if you're ever feeling like, oh gosh, I gotta let some feelings out and you can't, dog videos.
Way to pop the balloon.
Yeah, sorry, sorry, what was the question? Dogs, that's the connective tissue, is dogs.
You're leaving dogs behind, everybody.
leaving
This is why
dogs
we don't,
behind.
yeah, this is
Yeah,
why we're leaving
no.
dogs behind. Just how do you humanize the warrior a little bit more? Maybe another way said. What are the things you would ask folks that, hey, when we're thinking about, I'll give you an example. We go back home where I grew up in South Texas, and it's really easy folks to go like, oh, Joseph, look, we love you, man. Why do we even need to send you over there? Just drop a bomb on that village and call it a day. And when you hear something like that, it sounds easy to be like, yeah, let's go do that. But when you recognize that I'm also a person with a conscience and I got things going on, what would you say is things to think about when you say statements like that?
I have, like, people in the military want to do a good job and they want to wage war well. The idea of just like going and dropping bombs is like not cool. Like we have laws of armed conflict. We have things that we have agreed to do in a certain way, in a certain manner to achieve a certain political end, right? And so I think sometimes what's hard is the idea of just like going and dropping a bomb is like, that's not how we want to win the war. Like, that's not how we want to fight. Like especially in today's world where it's so complicated and the lines are getting so blurred and counterinsurgency and blah, 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 and people not in uniforms. Like, we want to do a good job. And so it's hard to do a good job today. And not that it wasn't hard before, right? But like the way the battlefield works is just so different. So I think it's hard to kind of put into context the idea that like, yeah, I'm trained to kill people and I want to do it in the right way. Like, I want it to be the right guy at the right time, doing the wrong thing. You know what I mean? Like, and I think that's maybe hard to like, for people to wrap their head around, like, yes, I want to kill someone, but I'm not like a warmonger, like I don't want to do it in that way. Like, you get trained to do this stuff the right way, and we want to do our jobs well. And so I think that's maybe the hard part to communicate, is that in order to do your job well, you have to have the right training, you have to have the right policies, you have to have the right environment to do that job well. It's not as simple as munitions all the time. Although a 2.75-inch rocket is a pretty good munition.
Pretty nifty.
That's weird humor. Everyone laugh, okay? It's funny. Ha, thank you. Okay.
There's a bit of that dark humor that sometimes it does not land well when you get out, right?
Sorry,
No,
I'm sorry, everyone. I'm sorry.
It's the only way you can kind of make sense of some of the heaviness that comes with it, right? Yeah. Before we go into the song, what I love personally about it is that you really do a great job, I think, embodying less the politics and less the rhetoric about what's going on and whatnot, but more about just kind of the spirit of that human that made it through something, and in a lot of ways still trying to make it through something. Yeah. Do you find that I find that how many folks in here, when they think of someone who served, they kind of have a picture of the old timer wearing like the VFW hat with the little thing in a parade, right? That's typically what we think. But most of our wars are fought by folks that are average age of like 25 years old, right? And so when you really think about what it takes, what would you say are some of the things that you look back fondly of your time? And even though you did make it through, these are the things you still kind of carry with you.
It sounds crazy, right? But like if you had to take 9 months, like 9 consecutive months of any period of my life, 9 months in Afghanistan, probably the best 9 consecutive months of my life. Because you live in a way I think we were probably like intended to live, like in a close-knit community with people who you're spending all of your time with, who are invested in pursuing the same thing, who you get really close with and you learn to love, maybe despite some of their flaws. Jeff is going to be so mad I'm going to tell his story, but you learn to love all these people despite like maybe some of their quirks. Jeff, my senior warrant officer, almost got kicked out of the country before I got there because he ball tapped a senior officer. I'm like, Jeff, what are we doing? Like, that's the guy I have to like go spend 9 months with, is Jeff, breaking case of war counting. But you learn to love that big bull in a china shop anyway. And you learn to love my guy Brandon, who like never spoke a word. He'd be like, Brandon, how are you today? How are you feeling? Okay, we have to talk to each other in the cockpit. Like, just like you learn to love these people, and so I think that kind of bond is something that in some ways I'm like trying to replicate a little bit, you know, because it's so strong and it's so connected, and having like a mission and a shared focus. I think that is, yeah, that's maybe something I'm missing. Loved having it. Great experience.
Yeah, it's the people, right? You always miss the people that you miss. In a lot of ways, I do think it does teach you a lot about how we as humans kind of should operate in this tribe together. Mm-hmm. Well, I'm going to let you get into Made It Through. Okay. I think that as you sing this song, one thing that I just hope that everybody hears is I really think it's a cool way that you've been able to talk about the story, but the human behind everything else. So
yeah,
thank you, Hope.
No problem.
Made It Through.
Here we go. I will say real quick, shout out to my dad. He's been telling me for years to play in open tunings, and I never would until I heard Laura Marling do it. I was like, that's cool, I'm gonna do that. Thanks, John. All right. Knucklehead.
watched it too. They know what they put us through. And all of our star-spangled banner blue eyes thought we would win when they sent us to fight. They wrote the check and some of us cashed it. You paid the money that lay in a
Y'all, this band's gonna leave the stage. Give them one more round of applause if you would, please.
Well, that song ripped.
Yeah, y'all sweaty? I'm a little sweaty.
So we're going to round out the evening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not gonna leave sad.
No, we're
We're
not.
gonna leave happy.
First of all, I just want to thank you all again for being here this evening. It's been really just great to see this energy, and I'm sure this will be something that'll be buried in your memories for a long time. I think it's a cool way to end this song. I love where this one goes. Let's talk about friendship. One, it's really cool, right? That after years and years and years of us, that's kind of how it works with going out of the academy and stuff. You just kind of go your separate ways. But when you find each other down the road, it seems that you stay connected and that you embrace. This next song, Meet Me in the Mountains, talk to me a little bit about where that inspiration came from and how it pertains to friendship.
Yeah, so I lived in North Carolina 7 years before I moved here. Hello? Shannon? Megan? Who was that? Shannon, but can't take this girl anywhere. I knew it.
She did follow.
Look at Dave. Dave's like, I believe it wasn't me.
Point of order. She did follow the rules. She did make the noise during the talk.
She did. I love that so much, y'all. Y'all okay back there? Leave it to the Methodists to create chaos. So if y'all are looking for a church home, First United Methodist Church right there. Sorry. Okay. Shoot. Okay. Yeah. So I left North Carolina and I'm moving here. And I don't know if y'all know this, but between Raleigh, North Carolina and Jackson, Tennessee is the Blue Ridge Mountains. And I was literally in the Blue Ridge Mountains and just thinking about like all, 7 years in one place. One state for me is a long time, even though I lived in two different towns. And so I had all these people I thought were like lifelong friends, family types. And just that if you don't move around a lot, maybe you don't know how to do a long distance friendship. And so I just remember thinking, like, praying as I'm driving through these mountains, going like, this is the halfway point between Raleigh and Jackson. And God, I hope that some of these people stick around. Like, God, I hope these 7 years that I spent here aren't lost to just those 7 years. I hope there are these friendships that continue for a long time. So that was kind of it's the literal meeting point, right? Like the song's called Meet Me in the Mountains. And so, yeah, that was kind of the inspo behind it.
When you think about friendships, were there any folks that surprised you that stayed in touch that you just didn't think would?
There are some friends who I like through the gift of gab. I thought they would be the friends I'd spend hours on the phone with, while they're driving home and while I'm shopping and stuff. And maybe they don't pick up the phone as much as I thought they would. And then there are some friends who I knew would be really consistent friends through all come hell or high water. And so that's been true. And then there are some people who have surprised me a little bit, maybe the shyer friends who I thought, they'll probably fade off into the sunset. And no, they've stuck around, and a few of them came out to the album release show and stuff. So yeah, it's been cool.
When you think about friends here in Jackson, you seem to have a room full of folks that
don't know any of these people here tonight. I don't know a single one.
Is that why all this ticket scalpers are out here just getting people to come in?
The cops were here to arrest all of y'all a second ago, but we took care of it. Don't worry.
Tell me about this friend family here in Jackson. It seems when you serve, you're in North Carolina for a long time. Usually in the military, that means brag, right? And that means
what is it? Liberty now, I think.
Liberty now. But it is one of the epicenters of service.
Yep.
You're kind of forced. You're going to have friends whether you like it or not. These are people you can't get away from. These are who your folks. You come to this town called Jackson, and it seems that you have a room full of friends.
Yeah.
How's that going?
Oh, man, can I get some new ones? I'm kidding. I don't need new ones. No, it's going great. Yeah. I mean, I think so. What do y'all think? We hate you. Yeah, no, it's going great, I think. Yeah, it's going quite well. Yeah.
And I've only been here a handful of times, and thanks to you.
Well.
Tell me the person. Tell me it is I will tell you the personality of this state is immediately growing on me. What are you finding different here about the people, especially when you think about friendships? You seem to be talking through this really big neighborhood in a really positive way anytime that we sync up. Tell me about it.
I think as an outsider who came to Jackson, the thing that has struck me is like it's kind of the perfect size because there's a lot of people moving in a lot of different directions, right? Like you've got this vibrant downtown arts scene that's growing and continuing to grow. You've got kind of like the normal like school age crew who are doing the soccer and like the people who are invested in that part of the community and growing up some good kids around here. And then you've got all of this industry and all of these engineers and manufacturing plants and stuff. And so there's all these like different kind of pockets to Jackson that are really cool. It's not just a one identity town, right? Like there's a huge music history and stuff. And so there's little pieces and parts to Jackson. I mean, like I've got friends here from church, and then I've got friends here from music, and then I've got friends here from work, and then so it's, you can move in a lot of different directions here and find really cool people every which way you turn who are invested in this town. And I think that that's what makes a difference is that that people care about Jackson and stick around in Jackson and want to make Jackson better. And so that, as a person who was so transient for so long, you come in and out of like one military base and everyone's used to you just leaving so they don't invest back in you. And I have found here in Jackson that like people are welcoming and they want you to stay and make this a cool place to be. So yeah, and it is a cool place to be.
Yeah, no, you can clearly you took me around town earlier today, and just to see the energy around the business and the crafts and the arts and folks is very evident in this town. Let's go back real quick to friendship. The power of friendship is important, especially, I think you would agree, during the toughest times. Talking about your personal journey, thinking about driving through those mountains and having endured, going to endure in the middle of enduring tough times, where has friendship really helped you with a rock in your life? How has that helped you through those moments?
I think no matter what it is, I've always ended up having a friend who's either been there, done that, and has helped me. And I've said this before, and I'll say it, like walk a little faster on a recovery route of whatever that pain is. Or I have a friend who hasn't been there and done that, but is really good at holding my hand while I walk at whatever pace I need to walk at. And I think in a way that maybe like family doesn't do as well, because they just want you to be happy and be better. At least my family wants me to be happy and be better. And so like maybe the same endurance to sit with someone isn't the same as in a friendship, right? Because if you've been there, done that, and you know it, you can sit a little bit longer. And so I think that that's been kind of the beautiful part of friendship, for me at least, is I've got a good crew of solid folks who are willing to be there and show up. Christy, I love you.
It's already coming through.
Keep crying, it's all right. I'll hug you after.
It means it's working.
Dave, you don't know how to cry.
You need to go watch a dog video.
No, don't. No, here's the thing. Okay, I'm not going to tell him the story, but you don't need to watch. Dave won't even cry about a dog. Heart of coal right there. I'm kidding, Dave. We love you.
You need friends like that in your life that are like break glass in case of war. This person is going to be there at any point in time, and it's going to be steadfast. Before you kick into this beautiful song, the one that you'll rip here on the acoustic sesh, when you think about life, we have shared these things and want to see if this resonates with you or not. Life on a good day is super hard, extremely hard. Gives you a lot of different things, right? But when you think about friendship, is it sometimes just about having a witness in life that just kind of can look at you and go like, I see you, and it's tough, but keep going?
I think so. I mean, and Dad, I love you. He's a problem solver, right? Like, and I think most guys are problem solvers, right? Like when you come to them crying, and they're like, okay, well, what are we going to do to fix it? This time he decided to help me do my taxes. So thank you, John. I didn't even have to cry. But I think for me, it's not I don't need you to fix it. And maybe it's a product of the fact that like, it is just Lucy at home. And, even though she's great emotional support, she doesn't cry, and so she doesn't always know, like, while I'm sobbing into her face, like, "What? Get off me." You know, like, I'm kidding. I don't do that. She doesn't let me hold her. I do think it is just needing someone to go, like, yeah, like, go ahead, like, get it out. I'm here. I see you. And I don't need to fix it. I know you're smart, competent, capable, and when you're done with the cry, you'll figure it out. But here I am, you know.
With that, thank you, Hope.
Yeah.
See you in the mountains.
All right. Evan, I need to unplug. I didn't do the dance, though. We got to redo this whole show. I'll do the dance when I plug in. Does that work? Okay. Can I get a little more guitar? That's it. Y'all have it. No, I'm kidding. All right, we'll do it now. Shit. We gotta start over. Intro again. Don't count. All right. We're starting now. Here's the recording. Is it red? Okay. All right. Great. So you caught all these terrible takes. Okay, this is good. No one's gonna listen to this song. Okay, here we go. Rhododendron are in bloom. Rhododendron are in bloom. Rhododendron are in bloom. And I am without you.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is the evening. First, want to again thank you all for an epic session today. Want to thank the Mac Attacks for bringing it on. The great folks at Turntable, the guys behind the audio, the barbecue, the great groups here, and of course, Hope MacGregor for putting on a heart-touching show and one that's just always honest. I figured the best way to really kind of end this show, especially after you said Methodist like 14 times. And so, with being a guy from Texas and being here in Jackson, Tennessee, it probably wouldn't be a bad thing just to kind of end it with just a quick prayer just while we get out of here. And then please stick around. Please stick around. I want to see your face. I think there's some more beer in the cooler there, and there's some cool merch in the back. And at the end of the day, ask all the questions and maybe get some more crying tips. So, before we head out of here.
And real quick, if you want, Joshua is here, and these paintings are for sale. There's 2 paintings up here, I think 2. 2 that are for sale up here and back there, and he's been painting live this whole show. So if you want to see what he's working on, he's back there. So go check out what he's been up to as well.
All right, just close your eyes for a little bit, y'all. Lord, thanks for giving us this time to be able to hang out with not only friends, but incredible family as we hang out and not only enjoy this great music that Hope and the band had put together, but really to be able to connect us together with these words. And most importantly, there's a lot of friends that come and go in this world, but we always can count on you as being our friend no matter where we're at. So God bless Hope, this team, and everybody here. In your name we pray. Amen. All right. Thanks, y'all. Hang out.
Crossroads, she said, I'd meet our